Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Mike Shea. Um, I don't usually make videos and stuff, uh, but looking at this, I kind of felt like, gosh, I have something to say. You know what I mean? So this is a panel with uh, uh, I'll show you. So that's Paris, uh, Dennard, or however you say his name. This guy right here that I'm pointing you, Keith Boykin, a Democrat strategist. Uh, he's usually kind of respectful. He actually uh, says some says says something pretty disgusting that surprises me in this video. The girl down there, she's, I don't know, she's sort of irrelevant. And you have another Trump supporter, like Paris. You have this guy down here. You'll see in the video he looks kind of stoned out, like he just smoked a fat blunt before he like. I mean, look, there's nothing wrong if you want to smoke. You do that. I don't smoke, but I mean, he looks all stoned out and stuff. But at the end of the video, though, he has like something really profound to say, and I wanna play this really quick.
States has never been someone that we look to be our moral leader. If you want a perfect person, if you want somebody who was beyond fault and repute, you can't elect Jesus Christ because he's the only one that was perfect. This is a political leader.
I'm sorry to the other guests. I just have to say something about this. We have a president of the United States right now who started his political career by attacking the first African American president with a racist birtherist attack, which he continued for 5 years. He started his political campaign by attacking Mexicans, and he started his ascendancy in the political campaign by attacking Muslims.
And that's the thing, they want to say that he started. Look, I'm not some big Trump shill. I hate the cult of personality around Trump. I have to deal with it every day and stuff. It pisses me off. But what pisses me off more is when, like Steve Day says, what pisses me off more is when people bear false witness. This isn't true, and to claim that just because people were coming across the border, assuming that they're all Mexican and stuff, you're the racist, dude. You already have a presumption before anything, just lumping everyone together, thinking that if it's people walking across the border, then they're automatically Mexican. If they're an illegal alien, which you guys like to call undocumented workers or some stupid thing, they're Mexican. That's racist. That's racist for you to say, then, kind of. I mean, whatever, though.
He has a history of racism, and he's failed to repudiate this. This is unlike President Obama. I'm offended that you continue to go there, Paris, but the reality is that President Trump has not done enough, and I'm ashamed that you, as an African-American, Paris, will not say that.
Well, Keith, I don't need you to try to pull my black card. I am well aware of my blackness and don't need you to try to classify me as being one. I understand what racism is. Keith, don't go there. Do not go there.
Did you hear that? Oh, are you black? Are you? I've had people say to me, I've gotten into debates online with some white nationalists and stuff, who think, just because their skin is superior to all others, just because of their skin color. I've debunked their narratives every time. I mean, the fact of the matter is, you got blacks on the north, back in the 1920s, 1940s, who turned out, I mean, virtually every time to have a much higher IQ than whites in the South. I mean, blacks having a higher IQ in the North than whites in the South. How do you describe that? How do you explain the fact that back in the early days of some centuries ago, I don't have a timeline, but it was some centuries ago, as a matter of fact, that the Arabs and the Middle Easterners were more industrialized and more westernized, as a matter of fact, than Europe. I mean, everybody was just like a caveman hillbilly in the European countries, with just none but dirt and their hand with poop stains on it, with nothing to wipe it with. You know what I mean? Like, they had nothing, and they weren't doing anything. How do you explain that? I mean, it's I don't know. It's amazing to me, and so that I'll have people come, white nationalists, say to me, "Oh, you know, so that means you're not white or something like that. You're not really white." I've had that. My point is that I've had that phrase said to me before, and I'm like, you know, really, like, just because I won't lower my standards down to your hate-filled standards, that means I'm not white. And the point is it's sort of the same way with this situation here. You see Keith Boykin asking Parris, "Hey, you know, you're not really black because, you know, you're a Republican, you're not Democrat, you're for Trump." I will never understand that. I will never understand that. I mean, it's like having a preconceived notion of someone who has blue eyes, you know, and being like, and seeing a candidate running who has blue eyes, and having the preconceived notion like, oh, you know, you're not voting for Joey Bag of Donuts but you know what, you don't really have blue eyes, you know. That's my point. Race is just like, it's just like hair color, eye color. It's irrelevant. However, this whole thing about race being relevant in the first place stemmed from the progressive movement, and from slave owners trying to justify reasons to keep their slaves and stuff. So they just said, "Oh, you know, well, you know, we have to, because, you know, they're not human," or like, do you see my point? It's ridiculous.
I know what it means to be a black man in this country. I know, and I experienced racism.
And he flips out, rightfully so, about this, because that's not cool to say that.
On a regular basis, by being a Trump supporter and by being a proud American who happens to be a Republican. I get racist comments.
So that's the racism you experience by being a Trump supporter?
I get racist comments about my family, about my mother, about my girlfriend, about my character, every single day, mostly coming from black people. If you really want to get down to it, my family's from Georgia. Let me finish. My family's from Georgia. We have members of our family that went missing because of the KKK taking them up. So don't come to me and tell me about what it means to be a black person in this country. I fought every day in the George W. Bush White House. Yes, Keith, let me finish.
Calm down.
No. I won't calm down because I will not be attacked by you about my blackness because I happen to be Republican and I listen to our president.
Paris, you're really going off the rails here.
I am going off the rails here because you have no ground and no respect to attack somebody like this.
You're obviously very sensitive and defensive about this issue, Paris, because you have your own issues and demons to resolve.
Get your guests under control.
Just do me a favor. Just please come
get
on
him
my
under
show.
control because I would not come on the show.
He's like, handle that.
Oh, you disrespect African Americans
and then
every day.
look at.
Hang on, please.
And you don't represent them at all. You don't represent the 8% of the that voted for this president.
You're the spokesperson.
Guys,
I'm not their spokesperson, but I have to be a black person who agrees with this president, and I'm proud that he stood up there and said what he said, denouncing the Klan, denouncing David Booth like he did in March, and denouncing
after he was forced to do it. It took him 2 days to do it. It took him 2 days.
And to be fair, Trump did denounce David Duke as late as 1999. And look, that whole interview with him and Jake Tapper, I don't know how to explain it. His microphone wasn't working right. His headpiece thing wasn't working right or something, or I don't know. That other day, he's not nuanced and stuff. You know what I mean? I feel like if Tapper went to go ask him directly, specifically, do you denounce David Duke? I think he would have said, yeah, of course I denounce David Duke. That's my bad Trump impression. But I want to get to this other part right here, where it ends out really good. Because all the rest of it is just, it's all noise and stuff.
Not clear.
Joe,
and the message is clear to the KKK, and it's clear to the Nazis as well.
Where do we go from here?
Ridiculous. I think the reality that we have to face right now is that we have a president that does not always speak with nuance, often does not speak with nuance. And so I think it becomes frustrating for people when we act as if somehow this president is going to somehow be held to a different standard when it comes to issues of people of color, when it comes to issues like Russia. But on everything else, he is given carte blanche to go out there and speak off the cuff. I think that is very frustrating. That is dangerous. I think ultimately, when you talk about where we go from here, we need to sit down as a nation and say, these are the things that we value. Martin Luther King Jr. said it best. All we ask of America is to be true to what we say on paper. All right. And yet, incumbent in that is an understanding that some of the things that were on paper did not always apply to people of color in this country. And so, when we talk about these issues of race, we can have honest and open discourse, but that has to be rooted in truth, and that has to be rooted in demonstrated love. And I think that's what we do a better job of, not just as a party, as political figures, but also as a country, as a nation as well.
All right, we're going to leave it there.
That's right.
Appreciate all of you.
That's very true. That's what it should be. That's all I had to say. You can please like my YouTube, subscribe. I'm on Facebook, Michael Shea. You can follow me on Twitter at Michael Shea 2016. Peace.